Now we're recording. So, last we left off, the party had left the kingdom's walls in order to figure out the depths of the matter that they had temporarily staved off out in the farmlands. After having their attention diverted by a strange raven that took noticeably kindly to Lacera, they decided to follow its guidance towards a forest outside of the reaches of the kingdom, a forest called Ethsolvanna by the elven upbringing, and the nightfall by most others. It's seldom visited by even the most sturdy of adventurers, noticeably because of the rumors surrounding it. They managed to avoid some roaming basilisks due to Lacera's guidance and found an abandoned encampment in which the trees were absent, but darkness had still fallen over the area, despite it being roughly early morning to afternoon when they had arrived. After taking care of a manticore that had been alerted to their presence due to a slight miscalculation by one of the party members, they managed to find a couple of items and decided to take shelter for the night inside the tiny hut of Natalie, which is where we have left off. You all are awake now, and it is still complete darkness, as if time hadn't changed at all. The raven is just staring at you, Lacera.
Heelys. I told you I was going to cry on it.
What do you mean? It's a raven.
You can describe better than that. Heelys.
Okay.
The raven is currently wearing Heelys. Yay!
No! Okay. The raven is currently seated in the ground in front of you outside of where the tiny hut had been constructed, noticeably on purpose than before. Clean feathers, despite having been in disarray earlier from the fight that had ensued, but is silent and sitting there watching you all as you wake up, completely silent for the time being.
I have a question then.
Hmm.
If it is outside of the tiny hut, how can it see us?
I don't think I made it opaque. Wait, did I make it opaque?
The spell itself is opaque. It's what I read. It has opaqueness to things outside of it.
Okay.
The raven, as far as you can tell, can still see you. It is looking in your direction, at the very least.
Oh, that's not normal.
Rand's there, right?
Yeah, everyone's in the tiny hut.
How did Rand get there?
They all decided to take shelter in the campsite.
Ah, cool.
Lacera is going to very specifically ignore the raven.
Still staring in your direction.
Still see us, or
Don't ask.
Can I tap? Can Rand tap right where its face is? Or am I misunderstanding where everything is?
I mean,
the tiny hut is on the edge of fizzing out, so it'll be like the hand reaches out, and then the spell fades, and you exist again. So.
Then you just boop the raven on the nose.
Yeah, like the raven doesn't move when you reach out to do this. It just sits there and looks at you.
Rand is unnerved.
Very, very quietly, it calls at you.
I very, very quietly call back.
It tilts its head. You did the equivalent of someone trying to repeat a word in a language without the right accent, and it's just okay.
I nod in what I believe is mutual understanding, but definitely is not.
The raven just stares at you, Rayan, for a moment, and then looks over towards Lysera without nodding.
Good conversation.
Cole just looks around like, strange that it's still dark.
Yes, I believe that's in part due to the canopy up there.
We are where there is no trees. This is not standard.
I said in part.
Lysera, the raven, is now gently tugging at your sleeve. As if to lead you somewhere. What's my voice doing? Sorry. The raven seems to be trying to pull you somewhere.
Lithera just sighs, gets up. I swear, if you're bringing us towards our doom, I will happily roast you.
It pauses for a second as if considering your words. And then lets go of your sleeve and just starts trudging off towards the northeast from where you are.
So we have a hopping raven?
Yes.
Hop, hop.
Just hopping raven. Away we go. Kind of thing. Just, if you're not going to follow me, I'll just go.
I'll take a moment to pick up the caltrops that I put around the camp.
All right. None of them are disturbed.
Good.
The raven stops at the edge of the tree line in this section that was cleared out somehow and just waits there, waiting for any of you to either follow or go a different direction. It doesn't seem to really care which direction you go. It's just like to the northeast is where it picked.
Are we sure we should be following this? Let's just say this isn't the best place to be, and we don't exactly know that bird's intentions.
It caws very loudly at you, Natalie, when you say that, as if offended.
Sorry, Natalie just looked to Lithera like, well?
Lithera just sighs. My lady has not given me sign not to follow yet. And makes herself ready to follow.
Well, I hope she's right. As Natalie will follow along too.
Ran also. Why not?
Presumably, aside from Cole, who has clear apprehension here, is mostly keeping the same distance from each other. Cole is very uncomfortable in a very dark forest without dark vision.
Mm-hmm.
So, as you approach the raven, it flies up to Lysera's shoulder rather than her head this time. Seemingly considerate of the last time that happened, and it wasn't exactly a good thing to do. It seemed to notice that. And it just caws and gestures its head northeast.
Right. Here we go again. Onwards we go.
I want you to roll survival.
Survivors. Okay. Oh, hey, Bri.
Mhm.
I did not ask this before. Since we are in a forest, do I get my Natural Explorer 2 times proficiency bonus?
Yes.
Awesome. So that would be a 27.
Oh,
Rangers, man. Even though you're not familiar with this particular forest, it follows the same patterns as most others that you've traversed. So it's easy to pick apart which things you need to stay away from and what's easiest to follow if you need to come back. And you continue heading northeast, making sure that the people that you're guiding aren't falling behind. And eventually you come across a split, almost like a road that you could follow that isn't well worn, but rather just it's looser here with the trees. And it goes directly to the east, and one continues the way that you're going. To the east, it's a little bit brighter, but it's filtered through a bunch of trees in the canopy. Northeast, it's much darker than it was previously.
What sort of light is it?
Whitish silver. From experience, it seems like moonlight.
Well, down the east path we go. Towards the moonlight.
I don't know why we're trusting the Dark Seagull, but at this point I'm too tired to question it, so...
Dark Seagull.
Now that you look at
Seagull.
the raven, does it seem to be looking either way? Or is it just going along with what Lethera is saying?
It actually is looking to the northeast, but it doesn't move from Lethera's shoulder.
Cole's just gonna internally be like, yes, light.
Save the human. So are you heading east, or are you going to try and follow the bird?
Shouldn't we be going where it's looking, as we have been so far?
Lethera chuckles and just motions towards the lighter path. I follow my lady's guidance.
All right then.
And I'm not a too much fan of the darkness.
That's fair. And just how we've got to this point.
Cole and Lethera, you actually hear a sound that sounds like a chuckle from the bird. To have high perception. Birds should not be able to make that sound, but it sounded like a laugh.
Lethera just gives it a deadpan look like, I still hate you.
And Cole just gives it a look like...
Birds could give the nice cat look, Lethera.
Cole just gives it a look like... I still don't understand it.
Because unlike some people in this party, you can't speak to animals.
No spells, baby.
Only guns.
Who needs spells when you have...
You're all heading east?
Yes. I assume.
All he needs is his trusty boomstick.
And this is my boomstick.
So, After a bit of discussion and concern over the raven not seeming to agree with, but begrudgingly going along with Lysera's choice in path, it's about a 30-minute walk down this path as the light gets brighter and brighter and the trees get sparser and sparser, and eventually, Lysera, you hit soft sand. And in front of you, about 60 feet or so, is a very large lake that is glittering with silvery blue white. Silvery blue and white light, as if there is moonlight overhead. But there's not. There's no moon in the sky, and there's no stars. It is completely dark, but the entire lake is lit up. It is hard from this distance to see if anything's there or not.
Is it a still pond, or are there specific waves on it?
It is completely still for the time being. You have not seen anything disturb it since you're here. The rest of you at this point can also see the large lake. I lost my words for a second there. God damn it. It spans about 300, 350 feet. It seems like you would have seen it a lot earlier, considering its size. But it is completely still, and it shimmers with silvery blue and white light, as if from moonlight that doesn't currently exist. About 60 feet ahead of you.
Should I check for any arcane influences like I did back at the camp? This doesn't seem normal, to say the least.
Go ahead and roll Arcana.
All right.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of something.
So that's a total of 10?
Doesn't seem magical to you. It seems like a really pretty lake.
Well, I meant to take the time to cast Ritual Detect Magic. I was suggesting that we spend the time to cast the Ritual Detect Magic.
Okay, so you just drop down in the middle there. How big is the radius?
Well, no, I was asking the party if we would like to stop to do that. Because it is 10 minutes, so...
Can I check to see if this is a sign?
Sure. I don't know what you'd roll for that.
There is religion.
That's true, but I'm not sure if it would fall under that specifically. But yeah, go ahead and roll religion. Because I don't know what you'd roll for this.
Thanks, Dice. I love you too. That's called a 3.
Oof.
I got a 2 on mine.
Thank God I wasn't drinking then. As far as you can tell, this just seems like an odd lake in the middle of a forest. Doesn't seem like there's any presence here that you'd recognize.
Well, it sounds like we've got that cleared up. At the risk of sounding like a complete dumbass, I'm going to touch it.
So you're going to walk up to the lake and touch it?
And just stick my hand in, yes.
Okay. As you walk up and touch the water, your hand goes through it, and it's hard to see your hand, and the water is freezing cold. Unnaturally cold. But other than the very uncomfortable cold and trouble seeing your own hand, even not holding your hand underneath by far, it doesn't hurt or anything. It's just cold and it's hard to see your hand, despite it looking clear from a distance.
Well, as an experienced seafarer, I deduce that this is not the ocean.
It's fresh
No,
water.
It's a lake.
You can tell.
Got it.
Can I check to see if there are any reflections on the surface of the water?
Sure. Roll perception.
You're gonna hate me for this.
Uh-oh.
That one, you think you're a vampire.
Probably the opposite.
34.
All right.
Oh.
That.
No, it's fine.
We're still in a forest.
Yeah, he's still in the forest, so. As you approach, after Ryan goes ahead rather brazenly, you watch as she sticks her hand beneath the surface of the water. And though the water is disturbed for a moment, it does not ripple out the way that it should. And as you approach, not close enough to test your own reflection, you look at where Ryan's should be, and it wavers despite the disturbance fading after a moment. Other than that, you can actually see like a slight pulse of sorts from the edge of the lake. It's only a slight quiver, but it does seem repetitive. You do not see a proper reflection, however. It's wavery from where Ryan is, and as you approach, the same happens with yours, except yours is even more disturbed.
We looking at reflections?
Actually, right, would you consider a lake an object that could be magically imbued?
Water
That's
is
a
not an
question I
object.
didn't know.
Okay.
Is water wet?
Just wondering if I could cast Identify to try and figure out what's going on here.
No, the water's not an object. That'd be more of an Arcana roll.
But I know, if I cast as if I don't have to do detect magic. Oh, it's magic. Identify. Yeah.
But, Destiny is ready to get in that.
Cole's just gonna go up and look at his reflection. That's what he's gonna do.
I think I
Question.
can get my reflection too.
Cole, your reflection is wavering the slight amount that Ryan's is. Yes?
Question for you, because
Yes.
you didn't describe something.
Mm.
The raven's reflection.
Ooh.
It is very hard to tell what exactly the raven is or should be from its reflection.
Ah, good.
Ah, good.
Natalie's going to stand back and not get too close to the very weird lake, but going to take note of it.
Wonder what the deal with this is.
Ryan, do you still have your hand in the water?
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It was very quiet, yeah.
Sorry.
Uncertain,
Just
yeah.
walking around. Kind of trying to feel it.
I need you to roll a straight d20 for me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, here we go.
Oh no. 8.
Uh-oh.
You had your hand in about 30 to 40 seconds at this point, turning your hand around and trying to see where your hand is. And then you're jerked forward. Just a few inches. And your hands touch something. It feels like sand or mud. But it's
I immediately try and grab onto the leg of the person getting jerked.
They're not getting, Ryan isn't getting tugged in. It is the hand being pulled forward. Only by like 2 inches, maybe 3. And something scrapes against the scales on the bottom of your hand.
I would get my hand out of there.
Yeah, it's a good idea. Never trust lakes.
Roll a strength saving throw.
I add my tugging on their leg.
You're kind of small. That's a dragonborn. That's hefty.
Lake's haunted.
That's still a barbarian.
True. I'll say you have advantage because that's barbarian helping you out.
Lake's haunted.
Okay. Wait, sorry. To load the character sheet. 18.
And I'm just gonna be yelling, no, you don't. You're not getting away from me.
What was your roll?
18. Is it a d20?
Yeah.
Cool.
No problem. With the help of your barbarian friend, you easily tug your hand back out, and it's still freezing cold, the water dripping down your forearm. But nothing seems to have changed about your hand. However, as you all are looking at the lake, even though it was very obviously disturbed, as she pulls her hand out, it settles quickly, as if it was never disturbed.
Huh. Well, I thank you.
I don't like this lake
No
anymore.
problem, my friend. But I don't suppose we have any water breathers in here.
No, I don't think so.
Do we have anyone who can maybe cast a water breathing spell on me and let me go in there and
There's
whack them
suddenly
away?
a lack of weight on your left shoulder.
You fucking coward.
Roll perception for me, Cole and Lacera.
Okay. Great. 9. That was a 2.
That's bad. Cole, everything's fucking great. It is a very pretty lake, and one of your teammates did something really stupid. Like, even you're not that dumb.
30.
As you feel the weight on your shoulder leave, you instinctively look around because you're used to this routine now of when the raven leaves, there's usually a threat. However, as you're looking around, you don't see anything. However, you do see the raven towards the north edge of the lake, half sitting in the water, just basically cleaning its feathers. It's just quietly thrashing about, and there's notably no sound being made, like the splashing. It's having fun.
It just wants to clean itself and have some fun. What's wrong with that?
As you continue looking at the raven, you actually do see just at the edge of where you can perceive, a little ways to the north of even the raven, you swear something shifted. Just for a moment. You're not sure if it was the trees or an actual living entity.
Sarah, you did say this was the way to go. Should we just... And Natalie gestures towards the raven.
How far is that from the raven? By the way, how far is the raven from me?
The raven is about 60 feet from you, and what you perceived was about 30 feet from it.
I'll be right back.
All right.
Sorry, I got slightly distracted.
The raven has seemingly not noticed what you have.
And now Natalie is just looking between Lethera and the raven, kind of half repeating the gesture, like, well...
Lethera is not going to move for the moment, but she's going to keep an eye on where she saw that movement and prepare a spell.
Roll another perception check. Would this be perception or investigation? Because you've already perceived it.
For what?
Lethera. She's the only one that noticed. I think this would still fall under perception because you don't know exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah, I feel like going up to it, then it would be investigation, I guess. But just keep watching from afar, that's more perception.
28.
20?
28.
Okay. You stand there for a while as the ones you're guiding are currently still fussing about the fact that the lake almost ate their friend. And you're watching the raven flutter about soundlessly. You roll perception, lady. You watch for a while. 10, 15 minutes. You don't see another movement. You get the sense that while you all are here, whatever you saw, even for a glimpse, somehow either hadn't noticed you or was busy doing something else.
Lethera will calm down a little bit and move towards the raven.
You do notice that the raven's missing. And after a few moments of searching, you do see the playing raven.
I give chase and say, "Oh, it's the little pretty birdie. You ain't to getting away from me that easy."
It stops playing around and looks at you, Naminia, like leaning a bit to look around Lucera's legs, and just caws at you, like harshly. It sounds like a note of offense, and then looks back up at you, Lucera, before just disturbing the water again, unaware of anything that you saw.
Natalie will sigh with relief and follow Lethera. Since
That was 15 minutes of absolutely awkward silence from Lucera there, Natalie.
yeah, it was just like, okay.
Yeah.
A question has been asked. Do I ask it again?
The other three of you do notice Lucera and Natalie walk over to where the raven currently is, about 60 feet away.
Okay.
It's not moving or running. It is just where it is, and as you do take out their rations, it just looks at you curiously, and then scooches away about another foot or so and continues playing.
And is everyone else following along, or are they still at the lake?
I mean, you're still at the lake area. It's more towards the northern edge by about 60 feet.
That's been like grouped up for the raven to lead us to the next place, presumably.
Are you guys going over towards the raven, which is currently still playing?
Sure.
Sure, why not?
Wait, do we have anything on us besides, like, what's...
Nope.
Okay. Wait. Okay. I was wondering if I had anything shiny for the raven.
You guys start hearing the barbarian just sing a slightly off-tune ditty about the raven.
Rayan starts clapping along like it's a folk song.
Cole just looks absolutely done.
That's calming Natalie's nerves just a little bit.
How far into the water is the raven?
About 5 feet.
I'm a bit worried that the raven's gonna get pulled in. Is anyone else?
According to the time frame...
Why do you think Naminue is trying to stay towards the...
According to the time frame in which Lucera had noticed the raven being absent, it didn't take the same effect, seemingly. Because if that was going to happen, something would have happened already from what you had gathered, Rayan. Because you had yours in for less than a minute, and the raven has, at this point, been in the water for about a minute and a half.
Okay.
Though you are still a little bit worried, considering this is one of your guides, and you're not sure how this lake works.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you guys think my character is so interested in staying close to the bird so I can grab it if it starts going into the water?
Natalie is going to prepare a mage hand just in case.
After seeing the tension between each of the group, the raven settles down and gets out of the water and shakes off the water for the most part, and then goes up to Lucera's shoulder again and caws. It's still damp, so it's a bit uncomfortable, Lucera.
Did you have fun?
It just presses the side of its beak against your cheek. And then it gestures towards north this time.
Can Natalie do a subtle little prestidigitation to make the raven, a little less drippy?
The raven's not dripping water. It's more uncomfortable dampness for the person who has the raven on her shoulder.
But still.
You're welcome to.
All right.
So as you cast Prestidigitation, As you cast Magician's Hands,
Let's make that.
Oh dear.
I can't say it. I'm sorry. As you
You
cast
just
that,
hit that though.
as you cast that, the raven stops, more or less cuddling up to Lucera and looks at you, Natalie. Nothing seems to happen to it.
Oh.
And then it tries to shake off more, unfortunately, with Lucera right next to it. Seeming to know that, like, maybe it's a little too wet still, and it tries to do it again, and then realizes that it's on Lucera, and then, like, hatches down a little bit, embarrassed.
If they're after getting completely splattered with whatever this water is, Lithera is going to slowly turn her gaze towards the raven like, did you just? I'm tempted to just murder you. The death glare of death.
It, like, rests its beak on its chest and just very quietly calls at you.
Meanwhile, Natalie is just cringing and mouthing the word sorry to Lithera.
It seems like an embarrassed kind of sorry from the crow, from the raven. Son of a bitch. I'm laughing at this whole situation.
Oh no.
After a moment of that look continues and just it hops off of you, Lucera, and starts hopping north, not wanting to upset you anymore.
Right. Lithera sighs before following it.
Just following a hopping raven.
This is fun.
Would you like to clarify what you just did for everybody else, lady?
Yeah. What is goosing?
I don't know what goosing is in terms of this.
Oh,
There are context clues.
I know what it is.
Oh.
I don't.
Okay, for those of you watching the VOD, yeah, Nemeniue just pinched Cole's butt.
Because the
Thanks, I
player
hate
is in
it.
the middle of a thing and is typing out actions.
Mm-hmm.
So, So, Cole, actually, I think that would require a roll. I think that would require a stealth roll.
Stealth roll.
The stealth roll contested against your perception. So.
There it is.
You can't just walk up behind somebody and pinch their ass.
Yeah, you can.
No.
I mean, you can, but the question is, will it be a surprise?
Unless I roll a nat 1.
Please roll in that one.
That's a 14.
Oh.
Darn.
So, Cole, you see Nemeniue once again try and sidle up next to you for whatever reason, and you've gotten used to this routine. If she gets a bit too close sometimes for your liking, so you immediately move forward a few more paces than her, then she tries to reach out to pinch your ass, and then catches air.
You know what I'm just thinking of? She gets in close, and then he just combat rolls away.
I just stand there for a second,
I'll allow
and
it.
Just an entire.
I just stand there for a second, puzzled, and go, "No, that's cheating."
Lucera, you actually hear the shifting of sand moving a little bit slower, and then rushing off something, and then that's cheating from the barbarian. You just don't turn around. Not worth it.
Nope. Definitely not worth it.
It'd be even funnier if you just rolled forward. It's just It's only 10 feet forward.
Just you're basically like right behind next to area Lacera. You're right there, just chilling. Because you weren't far away.
Just brushes it off like, sup.
So he combat rolled basically right next to you, but behind like not even a foot, and just sup.
Lithera is going to like eye at him, look him up and down, see some of the sand on him, and just be like, nod. All right, so this happened, and keep walking forward.
you both, because you're at the front with Natalie, Emmanuel, and Ryan, a little bit behind and not great with their passive perception. You hear a very low chuckle from the raven. And it's continuing to hop into the forest line, and it's hard to see the raven because it's so dark at that point. But it does stop and try and bounce a little higher so you can see it. It seems to have picked up, Lacera, at this point, that you don't like it being there right now because it did a dump. So it's trying to do its best with what it has.
Lithera trying to wipe whatever the liquid is off the side of her face.
Just feels like water. Very cold water.
Yep.
So as you guys walk further into the forest, occasionally having to pause as you realize, does the raven go ahead? And no, the raven is just trying to pick at something that it got stuck in. Because it's a raven. Small feet. Get caught very easily.
Lithera walks over to it, kneels down, stares at what's going on.
It's just caught up in a small root. Unlike you, Lacera, the raven doesn't seem to be all that equipped to handle this specific area, even though it is, in fact, a raven and should know how to handle this. Actually, Lacera, roll perception.
Uh-oh.
Here we go again.
No, that's not.
35.
You hear two things. One, you notice now that there was no actual breeze in this forest, but there is a passing breath almost that sounds like a very, very, very soft sigh at this arrangement. And though it generally would have no tone to other people, you recognize that sound as something you heard from your employer. It is the same sound that they made when addressing your situation. Very soft and reluctant. And the second thing you hear is the dragging of what sounds like chains along the ground about 60, 70 feet ahead. It's off to the left from you, slightly, but it is ahead of you.
I want to try and see if I can't hear this chain dragging.
Go ahead and roll perception. No, you cannot. You barely hear the shuffling of the raven, which is kind of funny.
Should I roll perception?
Everybody can roll perception if they want to try and hear things.
I do want to try and hear things.
Modified 20.
That is...
Would you like to roll?
That's an 18.
It's a modified 20 for Natalie.
That's not it.
Whoops. Whoops.
That's not the command for rolling a die.
Got
nope. No. You also only hear the flustered fluttering of feathers as the raven is trying to get its composure again because it got stuck.
Lithera is going to place a hand on its back to still it.
I'm sorry. One of my players is an ass.
It's me.
Yeah, it's a gunslinger. Unsurprising. Lysera, Cole, and Natalie, you all hear the faint dragging of what sounds like chains 60, 70 feet ahead of you, to the left. Slightly.
Should we be concerned about that?
Natalie is immediately casting a pass without trace on the group, because after the basilisk thing, that's going to be a thing from here.
Alright.
Pass without trace. Everyone has +10 on stealth checks if we're hiding from whatever's making that sound.
If the ranger rolls a 40 or above, you just don't see your guide anymore. I'm telling you that right now.
I'm sorry in advance, guys.
Anyway,
Am I told to go into stealth mode?
Lysera, you put your hand on the back of the raven, and it seems to get the point of there's something that it didn't notice, and it's still trying to gently get itself unstuck. It kind of looks awkward and funny. It's trying.
All right, if it needs help, has
it's okay.
it been getting stuck often?
It's
okay.
About the second or third time it's happened for the 35-minute walk. Yeah.
You know what? Spell slots, freedom of movement.
On the raven?
Yes. No more getting stuck.
Oh.
All right. So you cast Pass Without a Trace, and then you see the raven still trying to scooch its way out of this situation and get free, and you sigh, wondering why you're even in this situation to begin with, and cast freedom of movement, and instantaneously it gets its talons free and flutters up a bit, and then settles back down, looking at you, Natalie, for the first time with actual respect, before looking at Lysera again quizzically.
Natalie smiles back, but is still concerned about the whole chains thing.
Lysera motions towards where she can hear the sound.
Okay. The raven looks towards where you point, pauses, then flies up and off towards that direction. You don't see it. Are you guys going to move or wait?
Move, I think.
I move up behind Cole, lean against his legs.
What are you doing?
Let's see. Always alert to danger. Move stealthily at a normal pace. I'm gonna make a motion towards the rest of my group of wait, and then move forward to follow the raven.
You start heading in that direction after gesturing for the group to hold back. Do the rest of you hold back?
Yes.
Yay, natural explorer.
After some very intense deliberation, Cole decides to hang back.
So all of you, whether out of reluctance or trusting your guide, stay where you are, and you head forward about 10, 15, 20 feet, and you don't see the raven, but the chains are louder now. And then out of nowhere, the chains stop.
Oh no.
You stay where you are for 5-10 minutes. And then the chains pick up again, moving quicker, farther away from you. And then the raven, then you hear the raven caw 5 feet to your right. And it's just sitting on a low-set branch, staring at you with a look that can only be described as faint curiosity.
Nethera looks up at the raven, one eyebrow arching as if to ask, well, was it anything interesting?
There's a very quiet sound that sounds non-committal. You take it as a no.
She'll
And
nod.
then it just hops over to your shoulder again, awkwardly, uncertain. It does look like a shuffle, sort of, when it gets on your shoulders, just looking at you, waiting for it to be pushed off.
Nethera will leave it. And then head back towards the company.
No problem. You easily go back. It takes you less than 5 minutes knowing where you came from. The raven is now on Nethera's shoulder again.
Did you find anything?
I certainly didn't.
There's that non-committal caw again. Hearing it again, Nethera, it sounds more bored than non-committal.
Nothing of interest, it seems.
The raven ruffles its feathers for a bit and then realizes maybe that's not a great idea. And then settles down again. It gestures north again.
Onwards we go.
I need you all to roll stealth.
Oh, cool. And it's still within the hour, so everyone gets plus 10.
Hey.
Hey, Bri.
Yes.
Natural Explorer is move stealthily alone at a normal pace.
Okay, so that's a 17.
18? Wait, but plus 10? Or is that just him?
It's plus 10 when, yeah,
That's
it's plus 10.
28. What was that?
Ryan is like supposed to be stealthy.
Also 28.
17. I don't feel comfortable.
19.
Part of Natural Explorer is can move, always alert for danger and can move stealthily alone at a normal pace.
Okay, that's you though.
Yes.
So, Natalie got a 17, right?
Yes. I'm concerned now.
Also, Bri, if I have to roll stealth, it's a 38, so.
Oh, she's not over 40. I would have had a moment. All right.
Oh boy.
No, don't worry about it.
Right, don't. I won't worry. Totally not worrying.
Don't worry about it. Lithera just hardly seems to exist at the moment. It's fine.
For the most part, aside from your druid, sadly enough, you all manage to keep up the pace, but Natalie falls behind a couple of feet. And I'm going to need you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Uh-oh.
Okay. I'll point out in Pass Without Trace, they can't track unless they found me directly.
Not
Whatever is doing there. Okay. Dex save. Woo. 10.
bad. Oh no.
Whoa.
I need you to take 6 points of piercing damage, and you are considered grappled by vines.
By what?
By vines. You are currently stuck to the side of a much darker tree that you hadn't seen before.
I go back for Druid
You do not
and
notice.
try and tug him.
Oh, right. And
Not unless sound is made, and the vines are silent.
I mean, Natalie's not going to be silent if they just grab her.
Yeah.
But
So if you make sound.
now, with Land Stride,
Mm-hmm.
are they magical vines?
They are considered magical in nature.
Okay.
You are currently considered grappled with your teammates about 10 feet of you.
And am I
Upon
being
hearing
grabbed?
Natalie's yell, I tippity tappity tip tip tap as fast
my
as can
God.
be back to our Druid and start tugging with all my might to free the Druid.
So, am I being dragged, or is it just like...
You are
It
grappled to
grappled
the side
like
of the tree. You are not being moved, you're just stuck there.
And I'm trying to do a strength thing to try and get you ungrappled.
Okay.
Would I have
strength?
advantage on that, or just a straight up strength check?
It's a strength contest. Not very hard to beat, apparently. Phew. I kid you not, I rolled an 8. So, I rolled an 8. So, after going back to help Natalie, after noticing that not only was she stopped, you stopped hearing her footsteps, but then heard the guys from her. You have a little trouble at first, not knowing how strong these are, but after realizing that, wait a minute, you're fucking strong as hell, you pull them away from her enough for her to tumble out of them. Scratched up a little bit, but not too badly. Just a few cuts on her arms and shoulders.
Now,
Thank you,
next time, Natalie, please try not to get tangled into these vines, eh?
That's part of why...
Take 4 damage.
Yes?
Take 4 slashing damage. Piercing, slashing, son of a bitch.
Oh no.
Okay.
You, after seeing her tumble out, you let go of these, but they catch the bottoms of your fingers, and you instinctively pull back, and it stings, but you've had worse. You brush it off and help her to her feet and keep trudging on, unless you would like to do something else. And
Let's get back to the others before this, whatever it is, keeps trying.
As I say, I'll stick next to you till you catch back up to the group so you don't fall behind.
Thank you. Weird. I can usually...
I lightly pat Natalie on the back in a friendly manner.
so Sarah, roll perception. And Cole. You guys are at the front right now.
27.
What are we rolling?
Perception.
Perception.
Perception. 18.
As you guys continue for about 10 or so more feet, you start to see a break in the tree line again, but it's not lit up. It's just a break, and it's still dark, but there are some patches of odd light that I'm sorry, I got distracted by something in our chat.
I don't know what that could be.
As you Okay, I'm just gonna nope. As you guys Damn it. You guys are out to get me. But as you guys approach this area, waiting for a moment for the other two to catch up, as Lythera, you had noticed something was happening, that you were still trying to guide and were, for once, a little too slow. But as you approach this area, you, from your current standpoint, about 10 feet away from the edge of the tree line, you do start to see clusters of broken stone and wood, splintered wood and cracked stone, and pieces of what look like stairs that are not where stairs should be. Usually they don't tilt like that. Nessie.
Hmm?
You just made it worse.
No, you made it better.
I know.
Anyway, what are you guys doing? At this point, the rest of the party can see some of the cracked stones and splintered wood, but you two specifically see the tilted, awkwardly stair piece that shouldn't be there.
Natalie will look to the raven. Again, it's like pointing at the wrecked end.
Still facing the same direction.
Should we just pass this one by instead of maybe getting caught up in something again?
Lythera narrows her eyes and walks to the opening to look out.
I don't know.
Alright. So you're walking out of the edge of the tree line?
To the edge of the tree line so that I can see what's going on.
Alright. So as you walk to the edge of the tree line, taking the lead once again, what you see is an inherently out of place but intricately carved building made out of terracotta and granite, with detailed polished wooden engravings along the edges of the building where stories meet each other or should have met each other. It seems haphazardly placed with the security of the side of a mountain, just on the back of it, cutting it in half almost. Pieces of it are broken off and sundered, disturbed in a manner of something somehow picked it up and moved it somewhere else. The stairs, now that you can actually see them, are cracked and unsteady, a piece of them missing. But the door on the front, in between two large white-gray terracotta pillars, is completely straight, not tilted at all. And it's the only thing that seems to be inviting you inward, but you can't see past it. It gives off the sensation of something that was once lived in.
So basically half a house
From what you can see.
that's been turned into a cubist design. Great.
Do we take a short rest to see what we're going to do?
Have you all approached as well, or are you still 10 feet away? Because if you're 10 feet away, you don't see this.
Well, has it been enough time for me to get Natalie up to the rest of
You've been up to the rest of them the entire walk this far after doing that. Since for a moment.
Then I guess I would
back.
see.
It's only been about 20 seconds, if that. If you're approaching, you're approaching.
You better approach.
I guess Nettle's going to follow along then.
Is Rand following along too?
And as a cautionary, as I'm approaching, seeing this area, I rate.
I need you all to roll perception.
Oh, I can do that.
That's a
Just
10.
kidding. No, I can't. That's a nat 1.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Apparently, I get a 6.
I got 19.
Good for you, Ray Ray.
Give me a second. I need to come up with something very specific for that net one.
25 for me.
Needy's not going to let me go if I don't give a proper nat 1 description.
This is very true. Please do it right.
Cole, as you step out, you look at this initially and you brush it off, not because you're not interested, rather because it looks just like a weird piece of the mountain. This is very strange for a raven to have led you to. There's nothing here. However, those of you with 19 and above, you look around for a moment to see if anything's out of place, and Ryan, you actually are the first to notice the fact that there's a way that some of these stones are set about that makes it look like it was blown apart from the inside. And you do see a window that is partially cracked, and pieces of it have crumbled down beneath it, but a good portion of it has been blown outwards. Lysera, you take another few steps towards the piece of stair that had apparently been blasted outwards, and you pick it up just to see if it matched, and it does. However, you immediately drop it because it is just as cold to the touch as the lake you were at, and as you drop it, there's black liquid on your hand. And the raven actually flutters off and settles itself on the ground next to you rather than being on you. Actually, with that roll, you would actually also hear just the faintest clicking of heels inside past the doorway. It's barely audible, but you managed to catch a few clicks of heels in the far distance.
Well, if anything tries to attack me now that I just raged, I cannot be taken by surprise.
Why'd you rage?
To prevent from being taken by surprise.
Doesn't that wear off if you spend like a single turn without being attacked?
Yes.
Or attacking?
I've got I've got 4 more rages I can do for.
Right, but I mean, it would last 6 seconds before it just immediately
Rage
goes away.
usually lasts for a round if you're not hit, or if you're not hit. If you're not hit, it goes away and you technically get fatigue. If I recall correctly.
And 1 round lasts for 1 minute.
No, it lasts for 6.
No, 6
It
seconds.
lasts for 6 seconds.
It lasts for 1 turn unless you're hit. And you're not in combat, so you basically just decided to fluff up. You did the equivalent of a bird puffing up, and when you saw nothing, it faded and you just felt tired.
That's what I think the menu is like.
Those who are looking at the menu actually do see like
angry.
her eyes glow a little bit, go reddish orange, and she looks around, and then nothing happens, and it fades. She looks tired, more tired than she was before, and I need you to take a point of fatigue.
And that's against my.
Really?
That's against my health, right?
Fatigue is exhaustion.
Mm-hmm. It means
disadvantage on ability checks.
Disadvantage.
Really?
Until the next long rest. Yeah.
Is that? Why would you have multiple rages if that induces exhaustion?
No, it only induces
exhaustion.
It induces exhaustion if you're not hit. Like if you use it and then you're not hit, then it's different. But you can use it as a reaction too. As long as you're hit, it doesn't induce exhaustion when it wears off.
Yep.
But you weren't hit in that.
Oh wait, no, rage lasts for 1 minute.
Does it?
Yeah. It ends. Oh, it does end early if. Yeah. But it doesn't say anything about the exhaustion. Because it wouldn't make sense.
Might be going with old rules because I did play Pathfinder a while back.
This is 5e I'm thinking about. It might be different in Pathfinder.
Yeah, I might mix rules accidentally. Feel free to correct me.
I might have to go and eat dinner soon.
Alright. Let me actually check on the rage bit so we don't have unnecessary fatigue.
Yeah, because that is a huge deal.
Technically, for most of my stuff, it just be what if I did take it, then it'd just be like straight up a regular roll because I got advantage on strength, I've got advantage on a few others.
I think you might be. Yeah, you're thinking of Frenzy, Path of Berserker.
That might be it. Okay.
Because that does exhaustion.
Yeah, that might have been it. So, you don't have fatigue for rage, but you did use one of them for today. Because nothing really happens in the minute that is happening, unless you guys are doing something or you're rushing in.
Just puffed up and angrily looked around.
I puffed up and angrily ran towards
the what?
Towards wherever the raven had landed.
The raven landed right next to Lucera. It had the reaction of like, ew, no, and kind of just settled next to her.
Well, once I get there and see it was just liquid, I aim really in my rage, kind of.
There is a doorway you guys can go into if you want to do something, or you could leave.
I got a perception of 6. I doubt I saw the doorway.
Yeah, you saw the doorway.
I did? Then I ran through the doorway.
About 50 feet, but yeah, if you want to go into the doorway. When your guide is just standing there.
I am following into the doorway.
Oh. Okay. All right.
Why are you all just...
So, Cole, Sarah, and Natalie, you watch as Naminue rushes in, or blindly is a better term, blindly walks towards and into the doorway, the stairs cracking a little bit from seemingly any sort of pressure, but it doesn't give even when Ryan steps onto the staircase and heads inside. Both of you have dark vision, do you?
Yeah. Yes, I do. I'm a gnome.
I was
Everyone
asking
but
more
all of
to...
us.
I was more trying to see if Ryan had it, because I can't remember.
Cole's the only one without it.
Yep. Just the human.
So as you two walk in about 5 feet, Naminue, you probably go a little farther. Just, do you head in farther? I'm gonna ask you.
Yeah. As the barbarian, I lead so I can take any damage before anyone else.
I appreciate that. I'm following.
Yes, please protect the cleric. Even though the cleric should be behind. Anyway, you do walk in first, and for a little while it's dark, completely pitch dark, and it's only because of your dark vision that you see a long stone hallway that is overgrown with different types of moss and vines that are seemingly trying to overtake it, even though it's buttressed up against a mountain.
I try and pluck some of the moss.
Okay. You walk up to a series of vines and moss collected on the wall, and you reach over and tear it off, no problem. It feels gross. Doesn't feel nice.
I hand the moss to the cleric.
Okay.
I appreciate the moss.
Here you go. I know moss is supposed to help stop bleeding and stuff, so I figured as a cleric you'd like.
I appreciate that.
You also have spells, but okay.
Can I put the moss in my bag?
If you want.
I put the moss in my bag.
Okay. You now have a handful of moss. So the other 3 of you that are standing outside still, you see the cleric and the barbarian walk right in, and they don't come back out immediately.
Should we go after them, or...
Lithera is going to find a stone to wipe the liquid off onto from her hands.
Yeah, it's easy enough. There's plenty of stone around, and you just
I'm tempted to say
have an
no.
moment of brushing off your hand, and you shake it a bit to get any excess off that you couldn't get with the stone. The raven just looks at you with a look that you can only really interpret as amused, sort of, really, as if returning your own look back at you from earlier.
Lithera just looks at it and then gestures towards the black liquid, and as if asking, "Would you like some?"
It just quickly shakes its head and puffs up. And just hops at you.
Natalie will call her familiar Russet back into existence.
Okay. Russet just cuddles up against the side of your neck and kind of, and pet him.
Russet, could you go into there so we could look after the 2 that rushed in? After Natalie asks him to, he runs down and goes into the doorway to chase after them.
Okay.
Give me a little nod.
Here's the thing. As Russet goes in, It's as if you can't see anything. The glow from him just stops. And Minue and Ryan, after about 5 minutes of trying to adjust, there's a spark sound. A sound of like tinder being lit. And then there's suddenly sconces on the wall and they just erupt into flame. And you can see perfectly fine. And it's a long stone hallway. The moss is there. There's a couple of doors that blended in before that are currently shut and partially destroyed from whatever happened here. One leads to the right, which is the side which Ryan saw the broken window, and one to the left, which seems to be dug into the mountain, and from what you saw outside. But even with this distance and the sconces lighting your way, you can see where it curves off into paths and further down.
Yeah, I wasn't handing you a bug, sorry.
How dare
My
you.
bad.
So, Lucera, Natalie, and Cole, are you going to join them, or are the barbarian and cleric going to wander off into an unknown place and possibly die?
Feels good.
So, wait, could Russet not go in the first place, or is he going in?
He is going in,
Right.
but once he passes the threshold of the doorway, he disappears, even after the sconces light up. It's like there's darkness right there, endless magical darkness that he can't pierce. But it's perfectly bright on the inside.
In that case, Natalie will call him back, and
He comes bounding back
when he's
out
at the-
again.
when he's at the doorway,
Minue and Ryan, you see Russet come in after you, stop, and then leave. It's like he's going in and out of a open doorway. You can see them out the other side. They're just standing there.
I walk back, poke my head out the doorway while
like a
the rest
floating
of my
head.
body stays in, and I say,
Like a floating head.
now what you all waiting for? It's all my son Braden.
It looks like a floating gnome head.
You do realize you're in complete darkness, right?
What you mean? The scones are all lit in here.
Minue, you are most certainly very confused because it is as bright as could be for you.
And there's lots of moths in here too. Good for her first day.
Great moss. Rand pulls some more moss into her bag. There's just too much moss.
Are you just collecting moss now while your party dawdles?
Yeah,
So,
pretty much.
because of the darkness, what Natalie will do is grab a little bag of sand from her pouch and tie it around Russet's paw, cast daylight on it while holding it.
Okay. The sand around the paw lights up. And he wiggles his paw a little bit. He's not sure what to do with it.
I'm just looking at this all puzzled.
Now, okay, now you can go back in there, and if it's just regular magical darkness, it shouldn't be a problem anymore. Because
he
daylight...
nods slightly and heads back in, and sure enough, you do see him, but not the rest of them. Because it's not dark for them. So you just see a paw of Russet lit up while he's trouncing around near them.
I shake my head in confusion and go back to keep an eye on the cleric.
You do see Russet. He's perfectly fine.
Not what I expected, but at least it'll help us keep an eye on them.
You guys head inside?
Still not entirely sure on that one.
It's up to you. They're free to do what they want.
How? Let's see. How big does this wreckage look like?
Roll investigation.
All right. Oh, well, that's a nat 20.
All right.
So 28.
Taking a moment to look over everything that you see, noticing the piece of stairs and the wreckage of stone and splintered wood knocked off from what you presume to be the main building, you realize that this is only the front piece of what looks to you to be a temple. Its design is simple and not over the top for some gods or goddesses, but it is part of a temple. And it looks like the equivalent of the stairs upwards rather than the actual front or half of it. It looks heavily destroyed. And as you're looking at it, you don't quite recognize what god or goddess it's supposed to be to.
Why would anyone build a temple here of all places?
That seems strange.
I don't trust this.
Thank you for the shoulder pat.
No problem.
And Natalie herself's not going to enter, but she's going to look through Russet's eyes for as long as she can until.
There's just a bouncing happy familiar near the other party members. Who just seem to
I
be
start
just in
making
front
my
of
way further.
Well, one of them is leaving.
I make my way further to scout along 20 feet at a time down the corridor.
All right.
Oh wait, there's not a range limit on seeing through its eyes, so I can just do that as long as I need to.
Okay. So, Natalie, as you see through your familiar's eyes, immediately it's as if everything's lit up. There's the glowing from the paw that you had lit up with the sand and daylight, and there are sconces lining the walls. It's completely bright in here, and as Russet turns back to look at you, you can see yourself and everybody else out there as if there were no blockage in the door, there's no darkness. For whatever reason, you just can't see past that point until you're inside the actual area.
What?
Minue, you walk
Yes.
20, 40, 50 feet, and then you come to a divide. And for a place like this, it doesn't seem like it should have this neat divide for how sundered and broken it looked on the outside. But to the right, there is a hallway with what you can see is 3 doors, a couple of them broken beyond repair and one of them not. And to the left, there's 4 doors, and the hallway leads further forward about 40, 50 feet.
Are both sides lit?
They have a couple of sconces, yes.
Alrighty.
I take out one of my war axes and use it to knock a mark on one side of the wall, so I know where I.
Okay, you take out your axe and carve something into the stone so you know where you are.
Like, I don't do it too deep, I just do it just enough to where I can see, yes, that's where I'm going, yet still be kind of respectful as not doing it too deep.
Alright. So you now know you've been here before?
Mhm.
I'm assuming it just looks like a tally of some sort?
Yeah.
Alright, so that's carved into the corner of the current hallway that you're in.
I take the right and I go investigate the broken door.
Okay. What are the other three of you doing?
Natalie's trying to do some quote-unquote outside support with, well, for one, using methods to let Ryan and Nemenue know this appears to be a sort of temple, which should not be here by any means. Please be careful while you're in there.
As I say, I think that.
And while the other two are exploring, Natalie will help out with resistance and guidance as needed, using Russet as the conduit for the touch.
I offer up a nameless prayer of respect to the deity of this nameless.
Rand hears that and offers up and I offer up a similar prayer.
Both of you roll religion. Cole, Sarah, what are you two doing?
Sarah is going to see if she can find a way to keep the door open.
The door's
I
open.
has a feeling. No kidding. I'm going to try and keep it open by some means.
I get a 14. Ooh, Ray gets a 20.
Anyway, you don't feel any difference here. However, Ryan, being one of the cloth, despite most of your kind being more brutish sorts, you do feel remnants of something that once roamed the halls, but it doesn't feel right. And halfway through your prayer, immediately you pull yourself to stop.
Yikes. Has anyone cast either detect magic or wait, what does detect evil and good do again?
You can detect a certain type of creature.
Okay.
It's usually listed. Sarah, roll investigation.
Wait, would religion be considered intelligent?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then never mind, I get advantage.
Why?
Nice.
I think it's a gnome thing.
Oh no, wait, that's a save. Never mind.
Yeah.
On investigation, you said?
Yes.
$17.
As you hesitantly approach the doorway, which is still dark even when you approach it, the daylight from Russet still letting you know that they're within seeing range if you were to step inside. You come upon the door, and there are hinges there, and there's pieces of the door, but it's similarly blasted outwards, like a force from within had destroyed it, like a thunder wave or an earthquake. Whatever's left of the door isn't going to hinder you if you needed to run in or out quickly.
Look, I have to go and eat dinner. Is this an okay time to leave?
You're welcome to.
Okay. Good luck.
All right.
No problem.
Feel free to catch up when we post the video.
Okay, thank you.
Cole, what are you doing?
Unsure. Let me think. I'm also really distracted for some reason. I don't know why.
You're sick, so it might help.
Yeah.
Lithera is going to look again to the raven for a moment.
The raven is no longer there. You don't know when it disappeared or how you managed to not notice it, considering it was right next to you, but it's no longer next to you.
Should Cole just keep an eye out? I don't know.
Lithera just sighs. My lady, give me patience, and then walks through the door.
You have a similar treatment, Lucera, when you walk in. The darkness within the doorway cuts out immediately, and you look over your shoulder, and you can see the other two just fine. The hallway is completely lit up, and the Minuet is at the end of the hallway, just now turning towards the right after having made a mark in the wall.
Wait, Cole hasn't even walked in yet.
Yep. Lucera is just now seeing Nimue, and Ryan, after a moment of hesitance, follows suit just to make sure that someone is with the scouter.
I feel like Cole should probably make his way in. Outside is scary. Everywhere's scary.
Oh no.
Everywhere's scary.
Nimue,
Yes.
I need you to roll perception.
Uh-oh.
You said you're going to the left, right?
To the right.
To the right, okay. As
No,
you
to the left,
approach,
to the left, to the
however,
right, to the
there
right.
is 2 rooms on the right and 3 rooms on the left. So you're approaching the first.
I get an 8.
Alright.
Can Russet roll perception?
You're welcome to. What he's there for.
I was going to the right and checking out the broken door.
The left side is broken.
Alright. So,
The left first door is broken. The right first door is
is this relying
mostly
on
intact.
hearing or smell?
Hearing.
Okay, that's advantage. Keen hearing and smell on Weasel. Let's see, so that'll be a... 17.
Nimue, you're too busy trying to scout ahead, and you're being a bit rushed for a scout of a new place. Russet, however, hears a very faint, calm breathing. It sounds like something is asleep.
And Natalie will relay that to Nimue through message.
I
Nimue,
immediately pause and start trying to find the source of the sleep.
It's actually behind the door that you're currently trying to open. It is a very faint, calm, steady breathing of someone that is usually asleep or an entity that is resting.
I check to see if the door opens quietly.
As you walk up to it, you actually notice that it's slightly ajar. And there's dust on the handles, but there's a spot there that is free of dust and grime, as if it was disturbed recently.
Without going into the room, I take one finger and very slowly push on that clean spot to see.
You do what now?
I don't go in the door, but I take one finger and slowly push on that clean spot, very slowly creeping the door open to get a better look.
Roll stealth.
This will be good.
Is that plus 10 still in effect?
No,
Concentration was broken a while ago.
with the buttons. Could I give guidance through Russet?
I'll say yes. For that.
All right, so added 4.
No, it's a D4. Isn't it? Or is it plus 4?
Said D4. And yes, it is a D4.
One way or another, there's not much that can help that. Well, still not great. You try and be quiet as you open the door, carefully placing your hand on that specific spot that's clean, and it creaks a little bit more than you'd like. And then you hear shuffling on the other side of the door and a huff of something bestial starting to wake up.
Am I able to understand? Am I able to understand?
What do you mean?
Am I able to understand the beast huff?
Why would you be able to?
No.
Isn't
Does
that
it sound like-
reserved for things of your size or smaller?
Mhm.
Yes.
You cannot understand it.
Okay.
Can I tell if it sounds like a natural sound or a natural beast and not a, owl bear type beast, for example?
It at first sounds natural, like the natural breathing huff of a disturbed dog, and then it gets deep and broken and unnatural.
I slowly push one unwrapped ration bar into the room on the floor.
Get away from that thing. It is probably not friendly. Ooh.
Nope, this is already happening. As you take out the ration and slowly trying to be on amiable terms with whatever is behind the door, you push it in, and as soon as even just the barest hint of your fingers pass through the threshold, you hear very loud barking. And it is rough and jagged, and it doesn't sound like normal dog barking. And on the opposite side of the hallway, you hear the clanking of metal.
I go, hush, 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 sweet little doggy, here's some food for you. Hush, hush, now.
It continues barking and growling and snarling, and you actually roll a dexterity save.
Uh-oh.
I have advantage.
Hearing the commotion, Lethera's going to see if she can find a shadow to sort of stand in while watching down the hall.
Could I give a resistance on that?
Sure. Kind of what it's there for, so sure.
D4.
So 17, yeah. With
D4, not guaranteed.
Okay, so with advantage, I get 13 without any adding-ons yet. So 13 plus 4, I guess?
I'll roll the D4, I guess. Nope, that's a 1. I shouldn't be rolling these.
So 14. It's not a hard contest. You know that something is aggressive behind the door, so you pull your hand away as dark purplish black jaws clamp down onto where your hand was and tears back the ration bar, and you hear it spit it out and then make a noise like it's disgusted and then start barking again, and the metal sound starts getting louder and louder. Something scrapes along the ground behind the door to your left and behind you, because you're facing the door.
I immediately turn to the sound then, my curiosity getting the best.
Lysera, as you reach the...
I was in a message. Nimue, get out now. It's not a place you want to be.
Lysera, as you reach the corner, it's kind of hard to find a proper shadow to keep yourself aligned with and hidden in because there's so much light around you. However, because all of the attention is on Nimue, nothing seems to catch your attention so much, but you do hear that loud scraping metal now that you couldn't have heard before. And it is coming from the left side of the hallway, and you see one of the doors farther down the hallway bulge a little bit with like a weight and the splintering of wood and metal. Just a loud crack, and then another. And a third one crashes the door entirely, and there is a large suit of armor glowing red from within, and it is now staring down the gnome as the beast entity tears back the door with its jaws and leaps out towards you, Nimue, ready to attack. Roll a dexterity saving throw again for me.
I use my reaction to rage.
Okay. So you're raging. Go ahead and roll a dexterity saving throw.
If it's the same turn, I can't give resistance again.
Yeah, it's within the same turn. So.
Okay. So no D4 this time.
Sarah, you're watching all of this happen, and Cole, you hear a very faint sound. You heard a very faint barking from inside the area, but it's only because you're used to hearing, at this point in your life, small noises that you should be aware of.
No worries. I automatically get resistance to bludgeoning, slashing, and piercing damage anyways, because barbarian.
Yeah.
Surprise, it's psychic.
It's not a high roll. Not a high roll. I rolled a 4. I rolled a 4, so it's not that hard to beat. So as you're prepared for this at this point, you basically heard the sirens going off from the bestial entity, and you duck out of the way backwards.
As the beast is coming at me, I guess since I just did the dex thing, I'm just going to tap it hard with my hand on its nose as I'm moving out of the way.
Wait, what nose? Was this the armor?
The beast that's coming at me from behind.
Okay, nice little flavor text. All right. You duck out of the way reflexively, but just as an added note, decide to tap the beast on its slick nose and
Boop
use
the
A nice hard
the
tap.
A hard tap?
Yes.
With this particular roll, you couldn't do it harshly. You could just barely touch it as you're ducking out of the way. Otherwise, you would take damage.
Okay, then a light tap it is.
You lightly tap its snoot, you boop the snoot, and you duck out of the way and you look at what you're facing now, and it's that same suit of armor now having taken a single step towards you and towards the beast. And the beast in front of you is dog-like in form, but it has dark black mist curling off of it, and its purplish black skin is mottled with various scars, and some of its flesh seems to have been torn off and replaced with some sort of mist or shade of some kind.
Did I get a whimper out of it from tapping its nose?
You got a confused noise of but nothing more. And it's now snarling at you again with its ears pinned back and ready to attack. I need you to roll initiative.
Okay, I get advantage on initiative.
Do we all roll initiative right now?
Minue, I need to roll for Ryan. And Lysera is technically within range if she wanted to be. Russet.
My bow is always in range.
And Russ.
And Russ.
Natalie.
Wow, I get the exact same roll for my initiative.
For the record, I need to roll for them both separately because Natalie's spells are using his reaction and all that stuff. Let's see. Natalie gets 12. And Russet gets also 12. So, it's convenient, actually. Russet will go after.
Alright. So what did you have? Dominion?
My initiative is a roll of 9.
9?
Yeah.
Lysera?
16.
Alright, so Lysera, you're actually up first. I rolled really bad. The metal construct of sorts is about 70 feet in front of you from where you are. And the beast is 50 feet in front of you with Niminue right near the beast.
What was that? What was that, Dean?
You're about 5 feet away from the beast currently, and about 15 feet away from the suit of metal armor.
Okay. Does it look like the suit of armor is threatening me or threatening the...
Looks like it's threatening you.
Take a wild guess.
In that case, I'm going to take...
You're not first in the order.
Yeah, it's Lethera first.
So as my bonus action, I'm going to use Hunter's Mark on the armor,
Okay.
and then I'm going to cast Chill Touch.
What does that do?
You create a ghostly skeletal hand in the space of a creature within range. Make a ranged spell attack against the creature to assail it with the Chill of the Grave. On a hit, the target takes 1d8 necrotic damage, and it can't regain hit points until the start of your next turn. Until then, the hand clings to the target. If you hit an undead target, it also has disadvantage on attack rolls against you until the end of your next turn. Increases damage by 1d8 at 5th level, 2d8 at... 1d8 at 5th level, at 11th level it increases again, so 3d8.
Go ahead and roll to hit.
$26.
That'll hit.
$24.
Alrighty.
24 necrotic.
Alrighty.
Hmm?
I'm still making slight notes for this because y'all,
Yeah.
letting the barbarian go alone is just a bad idea.
It's
But
a barbarian thing. You get used to it.
Yeah, well.
As far as
Barbarian will
Lethera is
learn.
concerned, this is normal. All I'm saying, Vry, is bloop.
Okay. Alright.
This is normal.
Yeah, that's barbarian mood. So you said 24?
Yes.
So, is it the beast or the suit of
The
armor?
The armor was attacked by Lethera. Did you do Hunter's Mark to do this?
Yes, I did.
Okay.
My bonus action.
Right then. So as you reach out, there's a chilled, ghastly hand that latches onto the shoulder of the suit of armor, and it recoils for a moment, looking around, and let me see. No, doesn't know where the hell it came from. I rolled a natural one.
Yay!
It looks around, and it doesn't have a face. It's just the suit of armor and glowing red from within. It whips around, and you can tell that it's irritated by the second assault on where it is, but it doesn't seem to notice where you are, and instead focuses its now presumed fury down towards the barbarian in front of it. you have anything else you'd like to do?
Fun thing is, I have a second attack.
You do, because you're a ranger.
Yes, indeed.
Well,
Are you using your bow? You're using your bow, right?
Yes.
All right. I just have to keep something in mind, so.
I kind of figured. Okay, so I'm going to fire one arrow with my bow.
All right. Hit.
That would be a 27.
That hits. Roll for damage.
I would hope so.
Yeah. I mean, AC is kind of high, but not that high.
And since I am rage, if any of these two creatures try to attack any of my companions that are within 30 feet of me, I can use a reaction.
Yeah, I know.
19 damage.
I'm assuming that's not made of adamantine, right? Your arrows aren't made of adamantine?
No, but it's a magical bow.
Uh-huh. Still resistant. So, how much was that?
19.
So, rounded to 9. Is that all? It recoils and it sticks into one of your arrow as it flies. It hits underneath one of the joints of the shoulder piece, and it recoils and tries to look again. I need you to roll stealth.
Works for me. 27.
This time it has a sense of where you're coming from. However, you loose the arrow and you hear it connect, and you instantly duck back around the corner again, completely hidden from view, and it lets out a sound that sounds like a bestial growl. The minute you see the suit of armor rattle. And at this point, Sarah, you actually do see Cole reluctantly joining the fray, but he doesn't have his weapons drawn currently. So he does see you with your bow at the ready. Is that all?
Mhm.
Alright, so it's the suit of armor now, the helmed horror. Not seeing where the grasp came from, nor where the arrow when it came from, it reaches up to the arrow and snaps it in half and throws the arrow away and raises its longsword and makes 2 attacks to Niminue, which is the only current threat that it sees, that actually made a move towards something that you're starting to understand they either work together or one of them is the master and the pet. So, what's your AC?
It's 14.
Okay. So, that hits. That most certainly does not. God, the nat one. So the first hit swings into your side, and it On D8. Where's my D8? Can't see. Having trouble today. You take 6 slashing damage, half to 3, because you're raging. And the second one, you're prepared for it now, and you duck out of the way as it swings by and strikes into the ground with a resounding clang against the stonework. And it pulls back and almost seems to snarl at you, and the plate rattles. And now we get to Ryan, and I don't have the sheet. Son of a bitch. I do not have her sheet. I have it somewhere. There it is. So, thank God I have everything on the same document. Alrighty. So, Ryan is going to use, actually, she's going to take steps back and get 15 feet away from this and make sure that she is safe before using, what's the fucking spell's name? I have it right here, but like my words. And she uses guiding bolts on the beast in front of Minue. That hits. Not a hard AC. She reaches up to her holy symbol, and the divine light travels down her scales and into her hand, and she launches the whitish gold glow towards the hound in question, and it slams into the side of the hound, and it snarls and growls and turns to face Ryan, now ready to attack the one that attacked it properly. But she stays where she is. That's all she can do this turn. That is up to... Both of you rolled 12, I believe it was.
Natalie and Russet, yes.
So you both are up.
Alright. Seeing as Russet is currently on the shoulder of the one in the thick of combat, and Natalie's going to get very worried about everything going on, and seeing as at this point I'm pretty sure she's the only one outside.
Yeah, Cole already walked in. Rather reluctantly.
A lot of combined factors that are just like, well, guess I'm going in now. As Natalie will use her action to dismiss Russet, so he's not in mortal danger.
With the light of Russet disappears from view, but it's...
But the daylight bag of sand is still there.
Yeah.
Falls to the ground, I suppose.
Yeah. Certainly didn't help himself.
No.
I should have actually had you roll disadvantage, but I forgot that it was a bag of sand. Oh.
Yeah.
Still didn't go well.
And Natalie will go in to help out her very in danger friend.
What's your movement speed?
It's only 30.
So you're able to get to about the same distance as Cole, about 10 feet away from Lethera, who is a fair distance away from the actual fight.
Okay, can we see the actual fight going on from there?
No, you do hear the clang of a sword against the stonework, though.
Natalie will keep her distance from Lethera, not wanting to disrupt what Lethera has going on with stealth. But that will be about it.
Alright.
And Russet, because he's no longer in combat, turn over.
Anyway.
Well, now that I have actually found my dice,
Excellent.
Yay, dice!
Ooh.
I unsling my great axe, whirl around, and with the flat of the blade bring it down real hard on the doggy's nose, yelling, "No, you sit! You're my doggy!"
So you're really determined to try and tame a dog now, aren't you?
Yeah, by slashing
Yeah.
across the face.
And
No, I'm hitting it with the blunt of the axe side, like the flat.
you're
To
still,
do
you're
non-lethal
still attacking
damage.
it. Go and roll a hit.
I get a 25.
That hits. Roll for damage. It's still the axe, so it hurts.
Ooh, I get 7 plus 3 from the axe thing. 7, 8, 9, 10 plus 3 more cousin rage would be wait, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 non-lethal damage across the nose.
13.
Yep, non-lethal damage across the dog's nose. And that's the first attack. I get 2.
Slam into its nose, and it recoils with a snarl, and is wondering whether it should go after the one that really badly wounded it, or attack the one that's right in front of it, and it's looking nervously between the two of you. It looks pretty bad.
I use my second attack to do the same thing on its nose, non-lethal slamming, saying, "No, you're mine, you stay."
Okay, roll a hit.
27. I got a natural 20.
Roll the damage, multiply the dice by 2.
Ooh, 10 plus the 3 from the axe, so that's 13, plus 3 from raging, that's 13, 14, 15, 16, plus the 2, 17,
Without
18
modifiers.
non-lethal damage.
Without modifiers, did you double your dice?
Oh, I was supposed to roll it twice?
No, what did you get for your roll?
Without modifiers, it's a 10.
So double that.
20.
And add your modifiers.
That would be 26. Non-lethal damage across its nose with the flat of my great axe.
That's kind of hard to do with your hit.
It would literally make it pass out from the pain.
I mean, it was already bad off when you did the second strike, so...
The first one was non-lethal, too.
Yeah, but it still hit. Okay, alright. You hit it again to the side of its skull to knock it unconscious, and this time it actually does fall limp, still breathing, but only barely. It is heavily wounded, and the side of its face is actually starting to bleed like a tar substance from it. The helmed horror now looks at you with... It doesn't have a face, but you get the feeling that you have heavily insulted it or harmed it in some way.
But the wolf has faded away.
No, it's not a wolf. It's a sleek-looking hound with black skin.
Well, anyways, hey, yeah, dogs still look towards the strongest as their tackle. I just proved I was stronger, right?
That's not how that works.
I don't think it likes you after beating the shit out of it.
Hey,
You just
it's
straight
the
up
one
disrupted
who snapped at me first. I just hit it
Yes,
without.
because you disrupted it. You are an intruder.
If you're going to assert
Still, I
dominance, assert it
did
over.
not kill it.
You didn't. It is still
You're
barely
going to
breathing. It is heavily
you're going to-
wounded.
If you're going to assert dominance to impress the creature, why would you go after it instead of the thing it currently sees as dominant?
Yeah.
To show I'm the one that should be worried.
But
No, I'm not going to question that. That's barbarian logic.
fair.
Barbarian logic. Don't worry about it. Good. All right. Is that your entire turn?
Yes. And though if the still creature attacks any of my companions that are within 30 feet of me, I get to roll 2d6 dice to take off that amount of damage. That
Okay. So that's the end of
other
your
than
turn.
that, next person, yes.
So Cole at this point sees Lucera with her bow at the ready and the sounds of fighting in the right hallway and draws his guns and goes to peek around Lucera.
Hey, there are lights on, so he actually gets to see what he's shooting
It's
at.
bright as hell.
Yeah. What is your stealth, dude?
Oh no, he
your
looks
sheet.
directly at the he looks directly at the bag of sand, and it's like he's looking at the sun.
Okay. I don't care. Eat. All right, give me a second, guys. He rolled a really low thing. He was spotted, so he decides to take back a step and hide again. But he was seen by the horror, which now looks up in the general direction of the now three of you that are around the bend, completely ignoring the other two, as most of the damage had come from that direction. It is now Lucera's turn.
Oh, goody. Let's see here. First shot. $32.
What'd you say you rolled?
What was that? 32?
He said you said
Yeah,
33.
that fucking
33.
hits.
30.
I'd be hard pressed to find something this early on that it didn't hit.
It's a super Tarrasque.
Beware the archer.
The archer bastard.
You're welcome. That is
Okay. 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 How's that damage?
17.
Just as before, though, you do cast a glance towards Cole of, hey, back up. And you turn the corner and aim another shot. And just like the last time, it sinks into the armor this time, into that same location that you had found before. And the suit of armor recoils, shaking it off, and now definitely seeing where you're coming from, thanks to Cole not being as stealthy as he should be. And it just looks at you and actually starts to head in your direction. It looks like it's going to come towards you.
Alrighty. One more shot. 29.
I mean, 29 will hit most anything.
I'd hope so. I truly would.
Super Tarask.
You keep mentioning a Tarask, I might put one in the game.
Oh no, I should start doing that then.
21.
This time, as it takes a step towards you, you shoot another one, and it sinks into the chest plate, as if it's made of heated metal or of wet clay, and it sinks through, and the red light in the suit of armor flickers, stutters, and it tries to take another step forward, and then the red light sputters out, and the armor clatters to the ground, unmoving. There's still a hellhound, unconscious, but barely breathing, in front of
And
Minuet.
it is mine.
Oh,
It is mine.
Are we out of combat now?
no.
Okay.
I need Minuet to roll perception, and anybody who is approaching her.
All right.
I
Modified
get an
20.
18.
An
18.
Modified 20.
Okay. So Sarah, are you approaching?
No, I'm going to keep to my corner.
Colin's also going to stay there, but on the opposite side, because, like, bad juju, to stay in the same area. We saw how that turned out. He actually shoots you an apologetic look, like, my bad. But, alright. The three of you, actually, I need to, oh, God, it's dark in here. No, not with a natural one, she doesn't. God, the nat ones tonight.
Maybe Cole should not have left you with his character.
No, that was for Ryan. I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh.
Ryan is just still leaned up against the wall, fearful, rightfully so, but she didn't have to do much, thankfully. But Minuet and Natalie, you actually hear the faintest stutter of breathing that is not from right in front of you, but instead on the left side of the hallway, further down. Just very faint, stuttered, wounded breathing.
Are we still in initiative?
Yes.
Whose turn?
It is currently technically Rand's, but she's not moving, so it's up to Natalie.
Yep, this is only feeding into what I was going to say next. In a minute, we need to get out of here.
There's no reason for us to be here, and, well, you've seen what is here. We need to go.
I'm not leaving without my doggy.
As you're saying that, the hellhound in front of you actually stirs and starts to wake up again, barely breathing.
You know,
I take my robe.
What I'm going to do is,
we don't have time for this. Okay, if you want to take the dog, go ahead.
and we'll cast Enhance Ability on Niminue with, let's see, Bull Strength. Your carrying capacity doubles.
I just straight lift the dog on my shoulder.
This is a strength contest. That's exactly
Well,
what
you have
this is.
advantage. You have an advantage on strength checks, as Natalie is going to go back for the entrance.
Sweet. I rolled a natural 20.
Of course you did. You managed to pick up this fairly large hound, wounded, and it struggles still, not wanting to get near you, but your grip is too steady and sure, and you carry it with you on your back, and it doesn't like this situation, but you've got a solid grip on it.
As Natalie is now going back towards the entrance. Does not
I'm
want to-
following along
Sarah.
happily with my dog.
As they're coming back, you feel a burning in your hand where you're holding your bow. I need you to roll a dexterity save.
$18.
Thankfully, I keep rolling low. You take 1 point of fire damage, and you are not letting go of this bow, but damn, it hurts for some reason to keep holding this bow. But you've had it forever, so you're not leaving it anywhere. As you step out just to see how they're doing, it's as if you stepped into a threshold that your bow, for some reason, does not like. And it hurts to hold the bow. I need you to roll perception now, actually.
That was a nat 20.
Cole sees nothing with a natural 2. Nothing. God, you guys, I really fucked over my dice somehow.
I told you to beg forgiveness. You didn't.
Yeah, you guys are having an easy time. Lysera, you see some shadowy wisps coil down the hall, further down into the rest of what you assume to be the rest of the temple, or what's left of it. And your bow has a odd little tug to it. It's not enough to have to fight against it, but as you're looking at it and the shadowy portions of each end of it, it seems to be moving in that direction.
I'm not gonna like this. Lysera, contrary to her teammates, is gonna head down that hallway.
Cole looks at you really weird and is just like, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" As you're walking by. He's not moving, because this is weird as hell place. But he does whisper to you, "What are you doing?" Do you answer?
Lithera grips her bow a little tighter, trying to understand, and keeps walking.
Cole looks between you, Lithera, as you keep walking, and to the rest of the party, and at Rayanne at this point sees Lithera walking further in, and after a moment looks to the rest of you, and I think we should at least stay with our guide. And heads with you, Lithera, jogging a little bit to catch up with you. Cole sighs and rubs at his temples, holstering his guns and continuing forward.
All right.
So all of you continue walking about 50 feet again. And at this point, the hound on your back is now Numenue starting to become another problem. And it's twisting and turning. I need you to roll another strength check.
Another natural 20.
Are you okay? Are you serious? I mean, I trust you, but like, are you sure? Okay, all right. I trust you. So this time it puts up more of a fight, seeming to regain a bit of its strength, but it still can't get out of your grasp. You're too dead set on having a companion, and it just writhes and twists. It wants to get free, but with your grip, it's having a hard time, and it doesn't know why, because you're so much smaller than it. But eventually it goes lax again, breathing heavily and trying to get some more strength that was sapped in the battle.
Oh, once it goes limp, I say happily to it, "Get doggy, you're mine now."
It just snaps at you as best as it can. It can't really do any damage, but yeah. You picked the worst possible enemies to try and tame. I'm just saying that.
No kidding.
It shall be mine. It shall be.
Alright, so all
Oh,
of
dear.
you head further in, and about 50 feet in, around the same time as Numenue is having that problem with the hound again, the hellhound, it settles as soon as you reach the next hallway, and you actually see now a ajar doorway. It's broken inward rather than outward towards the entrance that you walked into, and it has a spiraling staircase leading up and leading down into upwards of what you'd assume to be a second story and downward into what could be a basement or a second below floor that was once there. Yeah, no worries. You definitely pick it up because it's your bag.
And it's also glowing.
Yeah, it's
Really bright, so it'd be hard not to miss. It'd be hard to
yeah.
miss.
Yeah, no kidding.
And,
There's also
and hey,
two hallways that split off again. These seem more intact, but battered still.
Sarah, why do you want us to go through here? I don't think this is a good idea. To be frank, I'm sorry.
If I could explain it, I would.
I need you all to roll stealth.
You mean those two?
I rolled a 2 and a 4! What?
DM, beg forgiveness from your dice.
No!
My gosh.
No.
That's for
I
your own
like it.
teammates. Absolutely not.
All right,
Oh
it's
my
a
gosh.
14.
There's no modifier for Ryan, but for Cole, his stealth is pretty good. So I believe if I have it right, it's a 12? Or it's a stealth? No, it's not. It's lower than that. Not great. So
For
what
once,
is
Natalie is more stealthy than Cole.
Listen. So what did the three of you get? Because you guys
14.
know what I got.
26.
14, 26. What did Emmanuel get?
I was on my way out with the hellhound, remember?
You aren't following?
Oh.
No, I was following my companion out of where we were at because, again, they were advising we leave the...
At least Natalie turned around because everyone was going the opposite direction again, following Lithera.
Yeah, Emmanuel, you actually noticed Natalie stop and reluctantly go to catch up with them, and you're standing in the entranceway now. It's very hard to make out any details down the way. You can barely see Natalie as she's walking away. But you still have the dog. You have the dog.
Hey,
At least you could put him outside.
would you mind, before you heading back that way, would you mind helping me by getting my rope out of my bag and helping me tie this pup up, please?
Why?
Oh, you're trying so hard.
Can I look at the dog to see if it's even remotely natural in any way?
It's half made out of mist. I'm pretty sure that's not natural.
Roll nature. I'm gonna say nature for this one.
That is, well, an 11.
Plus.
No, that's total.
Oh no.
It's a +8. I rolled a 3.
Well,
It looks wolfy
you're
enough.
fucking druid. Oh.
I know, right? Could I have advantage?
Okay, you actually look at this and like, yeah, dude, this is definitely not natural because as far as you know, there's no natural hound-like, as it's not wolf. It's kind of like a hairless
Dog-like.
dog. It's partially made out of mist and scarred up, and it now has
Kind of like the dog version of a hairless.
What? No. Oh god. Nimue, roll a straight d20 for me and add your intelligence modifier.
19 plus
19.
19 plus 1 equals a 20.
As you're walking and you're thinking about like how unnatural this dog is, you stop in your tracks and have to stifle a laugh for a moment. You're like, what am I doing? This is a hellhound. And no matter what I do, it's always going to want to attack me. Because it only responds to those of similar alignments. And
Even if I laugh, I'm like, well, there's a first time for everything.
If you want to.
Maybe,
You realize,
no
though,
offense.
that it is considered a lawful evil entity.
Well, this is my point of trying to reform it.
Anyway, I mean you no offense, but that thing, I don't think it will ever
This is another
be
displacer
a
beast
friend
incident.
to you and I.
Well, at least help me muzzle it and then kind of leash it.
This is going gonna be a recurring theme, now, isn't it?
Just kill it.
No,
Put it out of its misery.
it's mine. It's
Well,
mine.
Before that, we're at the entranceway, right?
Yes, right
Yes.
now you are with the rest of your party at the second hallway in the stairways.
Just to satiate a little curiosity of mine, could you bring it outside the doorway?
I kind of give a half shrug and take it out.
Okay. You try and step past the boundary of this particular area with the hellhound over your shoulders, and as you do, you suddenly don't feel a weight on your shoulders anymore, and the dog drops off of your shoulders as if you had moved through something it can't get through. And it clatters to the ground now, trying to stand back up, snarling, and glad that it's no longer pinned by a embarrassingly small entity that had pinned it. It is now snarling.
As I hear it snarling at me, I give this, oh, you're gonna play that kind of half frightening, what someone else would think would be half frightening to them kind of smile.
I don't think whatever's here can leave. Which means, even if it were possible for you to befriend this being, it wouldn't be able to come with you, or any of us.
At the sound of your voice, Natalie, it turns to you and takes a single step forward, snarling at you.
Yeah, suddenly
I
realizing...
wave my great axe at it.
You are outside of the
Yeah.
door, and as you look back, it is complete darkness. You have to step back inside to swing at it. Or take disadvantage.
Natalie's suddenly realizing she's in danger.
I'm in danger.
Starts stepping back and prepares a poison spray in self-defense.
I push my sleeves up, get a good grip on my great axe, and menacingly march straight back in.
Okay. Nothing happens.
And I start whacking the dog.
Okay.
And saying, bad dog, you don't growl. Bad.
Are you trying to do non-lethal damage?
Yes.
I'm wondering how many times you can actually knock something unconscious while it's bleeding before it actually dies, is my question.
Saving throws.
I mean, usually they're unconscious for like an hour.
Yeah, that's true.
So shall I roll?
At some point you could start rolling medicine just to see if you can show enough restraint.
That's a really good point. I need...
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Yeah, roll medicine. See if you can show restraint, because it's at 1 hit point.
4.
No, so with that roll, absolutely not. You bring up your great axe and you try to hit it light enough, but you miscalculate slightly how much strength to put behind it, even though you really should know at this point, but you hit it too hard and it crumples to the ground unmoving.
Let's just say it's the bull strength. It's not what you're used to.
Yep, might as well be.
Upon seeing it go completely limp, I start kind of poking at it to see if it's breathing.
Not breathing.
my good friend, I think I might have accidentally hit this dog a little too hard, So I think, I think I might have accidentally killed my doggy.
That is certainly a way of phrasing it, but it...
Sarah, what are you doing while they're arguing? For the past 10 minutes this has been happening.
Sarah is going to just roll her eyes and head upstairs. Thank you.
So you head upstairs towards what wasn't there before. You couldn't see it on the outside. You hear Cole take up post near the stairs as you walk into the main hallway of the upstairs area, while Ryan is situated at the actual doorway, making sure that the others know where they are and where they went, being a nice cleric. And Lucera, you come across a long hallway with light streaming in through the windows on the right side. It's weird considering that when you're outside it was perpetual night, but there's light streaming in, sunlight. And it's, as you step forward, the glow of the light is actually warm. As if the sun is out, everything's fine, and you're not stuck in hell of a forest. There are 4 doors on the left side, 2 of which are too damaged to do anything with, and 2 at the farther end that are slightly damaged but can be opened or salvaged in some manner.
Lucera is going to look through the windows and see if she recognizes anything.
Roll perception.
24.
You look out the first window you come across, and you have to squint for a moment, as you've been in perpetual night for a good day and a half, you'd assume. And once your eyes adjust to it, you see a sprawling plain with small towns in distance that you can see. It's not the same site that would be attributed to a large temple in this same area that you had come in through the forest. It doesn't seem, you can't even see the castle. There is no castle, there is no walls. It is just a couple of small towns with beautiful fields, multiple trees, a smaller forest a ways away, and you look down expecting to see a forest, and you don't. There's just a nice stone pathway leading towards a garden surrounding what you assume to be this portion of the temple. But that wasn't there when you walked up. It looks as if it's early morning, pushing into afternoon. This is not the same sight that you were greeted with outside of the temple.
Yep, I was connecting the dots.
You're not there.
Oh, sorry.
You're downstairs still.
You're just now approaching Ryan at the doorway.
Hmm.
But yes, that's what Lucera sees. She does not see anything she recognizes. However, she does notice that there's no kingdom, there's no forest around, there's just bright sunlight and a fairly nice view.
I'm going to turn away from the windows for a moment and listen to see if I can hear anything from the hallway or beyond.
It is eerily silent. It is very quiet aside from your footsteps and the echoing footsteps at the base of the stairs where the rest of your party is presumably joining you. But aside from that, there's no sound, there's no wind, even though in your brief moment of looking outside to see if you recognize anything, there seemed to be wind blowing, but you don't hear anything in this hall. It is silent and empty.
Alrighty. I'll wait for my party. Important window.
Alright, so after the two of you approach Rhea and she gestures that they went upstairs and follow suit after you to make sure that nobody's following the first good roll in the past 20 minutes. She doesn't see anybody coming, but still keeps an eye out just in case another one of the hellhounds or the suits of armor shows up, and heads upstairs with you and gestures for Cole to head upstairs. And after a bit of reluctance to listen to this, he goes upstairs with you and sees you standing there in the middle of the hallway doing nothing. What are you doing? Is there anything up here?
Lithera gestures towards the window. Take a look.
Do you guys? Cole shrugs it off as if it's not important. He's standing back for now. Do the rest of you do?
I'll take a look.
Roll perception.
All right. Ooh, modified 22. I'm not sure I said modified, but 22.
Well, if he hit a natural 20, there's a difference. You see the same sight that Lithera did, but it's off kilter slightly. You don't see the forest that she saw that's a little ways away. You don't see the stone pathway leading to a surrounding garden, though you do notice that there's different types of greenery around the area. And most notably, you also see the lack of the kingdom, that from this distance and what you presume to be this height, you would have still been able to see like the top of the castle from the Cloud District and the walls and where you came from, but you don't see anything.
Oh.
I love how Lady said that Naminue's rolls are up to Nini, like you don't trust me. Considering I've been rolling really poorly lately, I don't blame you.
I don't know any of her modifiers.
Well, that's on Lady for not offering those before moving for a bit. You can just roll a straight 20. We might have to end a little early, considering people are dead today.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think we shall close with the weird...
Natalie is writing a bit more in her notebook about this.
Yep. So go ahead and roll the 20 for me just to see if she sees anything right off the bat. Nini. Because I'm not trusted.
Whatever her modifier is, that was a 2.
No. She can barely
She picked
see
the wrong
over
one
the...
to trust.
Just listen. I'm not even fucking joking you. That was a natural 20.
Now, could that be an advantage Natalie gives by holding her up to the window?
No. In fact,
As a help.
No, that's a 2 on Nini's part because my roll doesn't count because I wasn't trusted.
Yep.
Well, can I
Nini
give
rolled a 2,
advantage with the help
and
action?
she just looks around for a moment and gets disinterested really quickly. Does like the sunlight. It doesn't seem all that interested.
Still very sad about the puppy.
Yeah, still very sad about
There are
beating
slight
to pulp.
tears in the Minue's eyes. She can't see past the blur.
Thank you for correcting my description.
You're welcome.
That is a 15 from Cole. He does not see the forested area. He does not see the towns, and he doesn't even notice the garden. But he does notice that there's no branching canopy outside, and it's actually daylight, and it's warm and friendly. And instinctively, he just does the gesture of no, thank you, and steps back out of the range of the light. Well, that's weird. So, what do you want to do, Sarah? What are we here for?
I still say we need to call it for the night.
Probably should. So we're gonna have it set here right after the examination of the window.
Actually.
So we're going to call it there.
Yep.
With everyone having visited the window. A natural 1 for Ryan. Anyway, I need to beg for forgiveness.
Yep.
That's where we're called
Maybe
then.
you do.